In a modern world where symbols seem to be all around us, it's easy to overlook their profound meanings. Jewelry, clothing, decorations. Many of these symbols appear trivial, perhaps just aesthetic. Yet for us as Buddhist practitioners, understanding the true essence of each symbol is crucial, as some of them hold values and energies that may influence our spiritual path without us even realizing it. Have you ever worn a symbol without knowing its history? Or perhaps wondered if some of these signs align with the Buddhist teachings of peace and balance? What we wear and display can subtly impact our inner energy, making it essential to discern what brings us closer or distances us from the Dharma. In this video, we'll explore 6 symbols that deserve our attention by uncovering their origins, hidden meanings, and the philosophies they represent. You'll be able to understand better how these symbols influence your daily life and Buddhist practice. Our goal is to provide you with the knowledge to make conscious choices aligned with your quest for wisdom and inner serenity. So are you ready to uncover insights that could transform your perspective? Together, let's decode these symbols and understand why some may not resonate with the teachings of the Buddha. Stay with us until the end to shed new light on your spiritual journey. Before we dive deeper into this exploration of symbols, I'd like to invite you to make an important choice for our journey together. If you found value in this content, consider subscribing to the channel, sharing this video with those who might benefit from this knowledge, and leaving a comment to share your thoughts or experiences with these symbols. Your support is essential for us to continue sharing topics that enrich spiritual practice and deepen everyone's understanding. First symbol, the symbol of peace. The first symbol we'll explore is the peace symbol, universally recognized as a representation of unity and global harmony. It embodies ideals that align closely with Buddhist values of compassion, non-violence, and mutual understanding. However, in Buddhist philosophy, peace is far more than an external state. It is primarily an inner condition cultivated within each individual. True serenity arises from the tranquility of the mind and the discipline required to maintain it. This inner peace is seen as a foundation for fostering peace in the world, aligning with the concept that only a mind free from turmoil can contribute to genuine harmony in society. In Buddhism, peace is achieved through detachment, an essential practice that involves freeing oneself from the desires and fears that fuel suffering. Detachment does not mean indifference, but a profound understanding of the transient nature of all things. Meditation, a core practice in Buddhism, fosters both samatha, tranquility, and vipassana, insight, as paths to a serene, balanced mind. The Buddha's teachings in the Dhammapada remind us that peace cannot be attained by those still under the influence of desire. For Buddhist practitioners, then, the peace symbol serves as a reminder that outer peace ultimately reflects the inner peace cultivated within. The principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, further emphasizes that true peace resides in the absence of aggression, not only in actions, but also in thoughts and intentions. The cultivation of compassion, karuna, and loving-kindness, metta, is fundamental in establishing this peace as it directs the mind toward the well-being of all beings. Ultimately, the peace symbol invites practitioners to follow the path of liberation, seeking not only harmonious coexistence, but a profound peace born of understanding, detachment, and a deep compassion that transcends personal interests. Second symbol, the Ankh. The second symbol is the Ankh, also known as the key of life in ancient Egypt. While it is generally associated with eternal life, the concept of eternity is viewed differently in Buddhism. Instead of symbolizing endless life, Buddhism perceives existence as a cycle of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, sustained by karma, accumulated over many lives. This cycle, however, is a source of suffering, from which Buddhist practitioners seek liberation. From a Buddhist perspective, the true key of life is not the perpetuation of this cycle, but the freedom that comes with understanding and practicing the Dharma. The Noble Eightfold Path offers the practitioner a guide toward nirvana, or the cessation of suffering, thereby breaking free from the cycle of samsara. Viewed through a Buddhist lens, the Ankh becomes a symbol of life's cyclical nature, while the ultimate goal is to transcend this cycle and achieve a liberated existence beyond birth and death. The Ankh also symbolizes the connection between life and death, which in Buddhism is explored through the practice of death contemplation, maranasati. This practice helps one recognize the impermanence of all things and loosen the grip of attachment. True life, in Buddhist terms, is marked by understanding the emptiness, shunyata, of all things, which enables one to live fully, free from the fear of death. Thus the Ankha, when viewed from a Buddhist perspective, serves as a reminder that the key to existence lies in wisdom that dispels illusion and ignorance, leading to a state of profound inner peace. Third symbol, the sigil. The sigil is often used as a means to focus intentions and manifest specific desires. However, in Buddhism, symbols and images serve a different purpose. Instead of striving to fulfill personal or material desires, Buddhism emphasizes practices such as mantras and mudras, which are aimed at transforming the mind and cultivating qualities like patience, compassion, and wisdom, qualities that elevate one's spiritual path rather than just fulfilling worldly desires. In Tibetan Buddhism, mandalas are created not as a means to materialize desires, but as representations of the universe and the enlightened mind. The creation and contemplation of a mandala encourage practitioners to meditate on the ephemeral nature of life and the interconnectedness of all beings. The Buddha taught that reality is impermanent and that true transformative power lies in the ability to see the emptiness and conditioned nature of all phenomena. By understanding this, practitioners begin to let go of attachments and cultivate a sense of peace that is rooted in wisdom rather than in the fulfillment of desires. The concept of right intention, samma sankappa, is also key in understanding the Buddhist view of symbols like sigils. Rather than focusing on self-centered desires, Buddhism encourages practitioners to develop altruistic and compassionate intentions, guiding their actions for the benefit of all beings. In this context, a sigil could be reinterpreted as a reminder that true fulfillment does not stem from exerting control over the external world, but from inner transformation and purity of intent. The real magic, in the Buddhist sense, lies not in bending the world to one's will, but in reshaping the mind and heart toward wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment. Fourth symbol, the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus, originating from Egyptian mythology, is a powerful symbol of protection and clairvoyance, often viewed as the all-seeing eye that guards against harm. However, within Buddhism, the concept of vision transcends physical or psychic protection and instead embodies the pursuit of prajna, or true wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, the Eye of Wisdom represents the profound ability to perceive reality as it truly is, free from the veils of illusion and mental distortions that often cloud our understanding. In Buddhist practice, developing this Eye of Wisdom involves deep meditation and study, guiding the practitioner to cultivate insight into the nature of emptiness, shunyata, and the impermanence of all phenomena. The Heart Sutra, one of Buddhism's core texts, emphasizes this understanding by declaring, "Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form." This realization can only be achieved by transcending the limitations of the ego and detaching from the material world. It is a shift in perception that reveals the interconnectedness of all things and liberates the practitioner from the suffering caused by attachment and illusion. In Tibetan Buddhism, the visualization of the third eye symbolizes the opening to a higher perception, enabling practitioners to sense the interconnected nature of all beings and the fundamental emptiness of all forms. This eye of wisdom goes beyond the eye of Horus, as it doesn't just protect but transforms, leading one towards spiritual liberation. Thus, from a Buddhist perspective, the eye of Horus can be interpreted as a reminder of the importance of cultivating inner vision, allowing for a transcendent understanding of the world and a step closer to enlightenment. Fifth symbol, the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros, represented as a serpent consuming its own tail, has long symbolized eternal cycles and the continual process of renewal. In Buddhism, this symbol mirrors the cycle of samsara, the endless rounds of birth, death, and rebirth. This cycle is propelled by karma and sustained by our attachments, illusions, and desires, which continually bind us to suffering. Unlike other philosophies that may embrace the Ouroboros as a symbol of renewal, Buddhism views samsara as a cycle from which we should seek liberation through dedicated practice and profound understanding. For the Buddhist practitioner, the Ouroboros serves as a poignant reminder of dukkha, the first noble truth, which teaches that suffering is an inherent part of conditioned existence. Through understanding this cycle, one is encouraged to seek liberation, to go beyond the endless rounds of rebirth. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha urges his followers to release the illusions that feed samsara and embark on the path that leads to nirvana, the ultimate state of freedom and peace. From this perspective, the Ouroboros reminds us of the intrinsic link between life and death, urging practitioners to transcend this cycle and seek a state of inner clarity and serenity. The Ouroboros also invites contemplation of the Buddhist teaching on the interdependence of all phenomena. In the Avatamsaka Sutra, this interconnectivity is beautifully illustrated by Indra's net, in which each element reflects every other, suggesting that, like the Ouroboros, existence relies on an intricate web of interdependent cycles. Yet while acknowledging this interdependence, Buddhism encourages practitioners to break free from these cycles, ultimately reaching a state beyond birth and death. Sixth symbol, the horned hand, or mano cornuto. The final symbol, the mano cornuto, is a contemporary gesture associated with various meanings, ranging from rebellion to ritual practices. In Buddhism, rather than using gestures that provoke or challenge, practitioners employ mudras, specific hand gestures with deeply spiritual intentions. Each mudra serves as a powerful tool to channel inner energies and cultivate qualities like focus, compassion, and serenity. These gestures, rather than being outward expressions of defiance, are aimed at fostering inner peace and discipline, reflecting a state of spiritual consciousness. For example, the Abhaya Mudra, or gesture of fearlessness, symbolizes protection, courage, and confidence, evoking a sense of inner security and the compassionate wish to protect others. Another essential mudra is the Bhumisparsha Mudra, in which the Buddha touches the earth to bear witness to his enlightenment. These gestures, unlike the mano cornuto, symbolize not confrontation, but the cultivation of inner harmony, peace, and spiritual awakening. In Buddhism, mudras are tools for fostering spiritual growth and encouraging the transformation of consciousness. Rather than inciting division or discord, they aim to unify the practitioner's focus, reflecting a deep connection with nature and all living beings. Thus, the practitioner finds in these gestures a path to clarity and tranquility, marking a departure from symbols of conflict toward expressions of inner serenity and connectedness. While each of these symbols arises from diverse traditions, they can be reinterpreted through a Buddhist lens as valuable reminders in one's spiritual journey. In Buddhism, symbols and gestures are understood as aids for inner transformation, devoid of any inherent power of their own. The path of practice teaches us that true strength is found in cultivating peace, compassion, and wisdom within ourselves, rather than relying on external elements. Meditating on these symbols encourages us to reflect on what they represent on the journey toward liberation. True peace, according to Buddhism, is not bound to external symbols, but is rooted in the inner work of transforming the mind through deep insight and continuous practice. May each of these symbols inspire us on our quest for truth and an end to suffering, guided by the Buddha's timeless teachings on inner freedom and compassion. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Your presence and engagement mean a great deal to us. If you found these insights enriching, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to ensure you don't miss future content that could illuminate and transform your life's journey. Feel free to click like to support this endeavor and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Together, let's continue to explore and deepen our pursuit of a life filled with wisdom and serenity. See you soon for new discoveries.